MWC 2017 has come to a close, but you know what that means for our end of the show coverage. We have a lot of awards to give out, and we want to present all of those devices to you in this, our Best of MWC 2017.
Hey guys, John Velasco here. I'm going to quickly talk about some of the Best of MWC 2017 awards that we gave out 4 tab times. Now, the first one goes to the Samsung Galaxy Book. 2 models available, 10-inch, 12-inch models. And these are 2 convertible tablets, Windows 10 tablets that have a lot of productivity. They come with the S Pen, and if you want a lot of horsepower, you probably want to go with a 12-inch model because it features a Core i5 processor, and it's pretty much a great competitor to the Surface Pro 4. And the other award goes to the Lenovo Mix 320, also another Windows 10 power tablet featuring an Intel X5 processor, up to 4GB of RAM, and up to 128GB of internal storage. It's pretty compact because it has a 10.1-inch 1920 by 1200 display. Also comes with Dolby Advanced audio speakers and a detachable keyboard, so you have that productivity element in play. And they do claim up to 10 hours of battery life with it.
But now we can move into the Android Authority Awards, and what better phone to start off with than the LG G6. The previous LG G5 was not a bad device, but it wasn't necessarily received with the best reception, and now with the LG G6 we have what can only be described as the company's return to form. One of the best parts about the G6 is that it takes some of the best parts of the V20 and the G5 and then improves upon it in a number of different ways. But if you haven't already seen our video on the LG G6, you only have to know one thing about it. That screen. With an 18:9 aspect ratio, we also have a screen on the G6 that bleeds over to the very edges of the device, basically making the bezel one of the most minimalistic parts of the phone. It's a sight to behold, and we think the LG G6 is going to be one hell of a contender for 2017. Huawei continues a great line of devices with the Huawei P10 and P10 Plus. Both the P10 models are evolutions of the P9 with elements of the Huawei Mate 9 thrown in. New features include the Leica Dual Camera 2.0, under-glass fingerprint sensor, and in the case of the Huawei P10 Plus, the first Quad HD screen widely available on a Huawei flagship. Huawei continues their prowess in creating very solid handsets, and we give Huawei a lot of credit for creating a very easy to use P10 and then a more premium feeling and more premium featured P10 Plus. And now this one shouldn't be too much of a surprise as we give an award to the BlackBerry Key One. The Key One technically isn't a new phone as we already saw it at CES 2017 under the moniker Mercury. However, it was still worth showing up for the Key One because we get to see the full QWERTY keyboard in all of its glory once again, and we see that the latest Android Nougat OS and several BlackBerry iconic features are going to be making it into the device, including the BlackBerry Hub, BlackBerry Tasks, and a number of other BlackBerry applications that help get productivity out of the way. And for any BlackBerry fans from the past, you can indeed program shortcuts for all 52 different keys. The Key One is an exciting return to form for BlackBerry, and we can't wait to get our hands on this particular device, even with a bit of its nostalgia factor baked in. The Sony Xperia XZ Premium is not the first 4K handset. After all, the first 4K handset was also created by Sony last year. However, it looks and feels like a Sony smartphone, and it provides an excellent user experience that we've come to expect from the Xperia line. It has 4K HDR in its triluminous display, a great build and a feature set that is up there with the flagships that you see in the rest of this best of video. Unsurprisingly, Sony puts a lot of great features in the Xperia XZ Premium, including the ability to run 1080p natively to save battery, and then hop over to 4K HDR when you really want to get some awesome content out of that screen. One other great feature is a 960 frame per second slow motion recording, which is part of Sony's new camera sensor, which we cannot wait to get our hands on and try out for a camera shootout and to see how it fares against the rest of the Android cameras in the space. We throw it back to tablets for a little bit with the Lenovo Tab 4 Plus. Now, it's an award that you may not have expected us to hand out, but they created a tablet that is not only wonderful, but it makes it clear that Lenovo still has faith in the tablet ecosystem. However, they have created a bunch of tablets here that should be able to satisfy pretty much anyone looking for a larger screen experience, all the way down to having 10-inch to 8-inch to premium versions of all of these said tablets, to even a kids version that is available for children so that you can have them distracted while you try to play with your own tablet. Features include fingerprint sensors for the Plus editions and a possible 64 gigabytes of storage with micro SD card expansion. Now, these tablets may not be the most powerful ones out there, but we do applaud Lenovo for bringing back a smaller 8-inch form that we think is a bit of a dying art in the tablet game. Now, we're always going to be happy to see the S Pen return to any Samsung devices, and the Galaxy Tab S3 was the marquee device for Samsung here at MWC 2017. Now, while the S Pen is something that we're looking forward to in the next Note device whenever it comes back, it is arguably still the most refined and feature-rich stylus on any consumer device, and we love to see it come to an even larger screen. Android Nougat OS comes here on a Snapdragon 820 chipset for the Tab S3, and its 9.7-inch HDR-ready Quad HD AMOLED display provides all of the color that you would want coming from a large screen experience like this in the Tab S3. We bring it on back to smartphones and over to Oppo, which we actually haven't seen a whole lot of in recent months. However, Oppo has come out of the woodwork in MWC 2017 with the 5X Zoom. Now, their 5X Zoom camera prototype provides optical zoom, not digital zoom, and the result is a lossless quality as you zoom in without needing a bulky camera lens. This seamless and high-quality zoom on a small form factor for a phone is one of the first for mobile phones, and it's possible that Oppo is thinking rather cleverly about how to circumvent the usual problem with a thick optical zoom lens. We can't wait for the first phones, potentially from Oppo, to ship with this new camera array. And finally, perhaps the most unconventional of them all, but we still saved the best for last. If you're looking for a nostalgia factor, look no further than the Nokia 3310. Pretty much anybody with a smartphone these days can probably trace their origins back to Nokia's original, virtually indestructible device. And while Nokia did have a show where they announced major flagships, it was a sub-50 € feature phone that everyone was really enamored with. Nokia remade the 3310, and in doing so confirms they know how to generate the hype. Now, even if the circumstances surrounding the Nokia 3310 don't necessarily scream Nokia's own doing, it is still a phone that a lot of people have already said at this show that they want their hands on. And it's not the most feature-packed phone, obviously, because it's not a smartphone, but you can still play Snake on it, and with that sub-50 € price point, pretty much everybody wants to have it as their secondary device. The 3310 won the award because we felt it was the best representation of Nokia at MWC. While they are back in the smartphone game, there's no better way for them to bring back all of the hype surrounding the company than with a phone that we all want to get our hands on. And so, there you have it, our picks for best of MWC 2017. It's been a great show, and of course, beautiful Barcelona was a wonderful backdrop for a lot of these devices that we were really happy to have at the Mobile World Congress show of 2017, mainly because we have things like the G6, the returning Nokia, the BlackBerry Key One. There was a lot to love at this show, so keep it tuned to Android Authority for even more about all of these devices, and don't forget to head over to Tab Time so you can see further coverage of those two products that we gave awards to here in this video. After that, you can subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and look forward to our reviews to all of these devices because we are your source for all things Android.